turns out this game has portals. It might be the right way since it has portals.
Okay, so there are at least a few things about Darksiders that are interesting and original. First of all, I think the enemies are pretty cool, at least the first couple times that you run into each of them. Unlike a Zelda game where they're a little bit more cartoony and kid-friendly, here they're pretty gruesome, mean, and they look like they came straight out of some kind of a crazy-ass horror movie. I mean, you got zombies, demons, ghouls, ghosts, all kinds of different things, and even some of the mini-bosses are pretty cool, even though the fights can actually end up getting a little bit easier as you move further on in the game. I definitely like the bosses. There's basically 4 main ones, and then later on there's maybe 1 or 2 more that they throw you for a little bit of a loop. But the bosses are all giant, and they each are completely different fight. You have to kind of get to what their weakness is and figure it out, and then once you figure it out, you need to kind of hone in on that, just like pretty much in any Zelda adventure game. And then some of them, honestly, really don't have a weakness. It's pretty much just beat the living shit out of them and survive in order to win the battle, despite taking a shitload of damage. There are a couple Easter eggs and things in the game. One of them is that there's this gentleman-like zombie that keeps appearing, and if you beat him down without actually going into a chaos form, which is basically when you get enough rage ability that you just power up and become invincible for a short period of time and very strong, you basically get a lot of souls, and souls are basically the currency of the game. So that was pretty cool that he kind of appears in different parts. And then the other thing that really is kind of like the scavenger hunt for the game is the abyssal armor pieces, which I'm assuming when you put them all together, you probably get some really badass armor and maybe a couple extra abilities. I personally, while playing through the game the first time, not cheating or looking online to figure out where those pieces were, actually ended up finding 7 out of 10. So if I put a little bit more time into the game, I probably would have been able to collect them all relatively easily. But for me, I just wanted to play through the game once, didn't really care about the optional stuff. Alright, so we've seen some of the different aspects of Darksiders, and the question is it a good game? And really the answer to that is going to be, well, do you like Zelda? Because if you like Zelda, chances are you're going to like Darksiders. It's that type of game of exploring, finding items, solving puzzles, and then with a little bit of a twist of the combat thrown in there, a little bit gory just like God of War, and with different special attacks and things for variety. So overall, I think this is a pretty good game. One of the things that I thought made it a little bit original was the plot. I mean, I really did like the story of, this Horseman of War trying to figure out exactly what's going on, who broke the 7th seal, why are the demons out, then actually collecting items to give to this guy who looks just like the devil, and wondering if he's actually going to come through with his deal with you, or if he's going to double-cross you. Then as the plot goes on, there's a little bit of more story twists and things that I don't want to spoil for everyone, but let me put it this way. The plot of this game is pretty damn good. It's like reading a really good comic book, or maybe watching a 2 to 3 hour sci-fi / fantasy movie, and it's pretty interesting. And I think tying in all these elements from other good games and combining them into one package with a pretty decent story makes this a game worth at least playing through once. So, you know what? God damn it, if these guys can do it, I can do it too. Why can't I be rich? So I'm sorry, I'm going to be a millionaire. Let's come up with a great idea for a movie that's going to put butts in seats. It's going to be the greatest kick-ass movie ever made. So here's what we're going to do. We're going to make an action movie, only we're going to put all the famous stars from all the action movies around the world into this one film, and it's going to make a bajillion dollars at the box office. So who am I talking about? Let's get Sly Stallone. Let's get Jason Statham. Let's get Jet Li. Hey, what about Dolph Lundgren? You remember Ivan Drago? I sure as hell do. Well, how about some old greats like Eric Roberts, or the guy that just made a humongous comeback in his career, Mickey Rourke? And then in addition to that, why not throw in people from other things like MMA? Let's get Randy Couture. And what the hell, how about pro wrestling? Let's get Stone Cold Steve Austin. And then, to put the icing on the cake, we're going to get cameo appearances from the 2 legendary greats, Bruce Willis, who's one of my personal favorites from the Die Hard films, as well as Arnold Schwarzenegger. I mean, this guy is a fucking legend. So that's it. That's my idea. We're going to get all those guys on screen at the same time, make one awesome, epic action movie. It's my idea. It's copyrighted. It's trademarked right now. God
damn it! That's bullshit. So before we conclude, the one major gripe that I have with Darksiders, and I mentioned this a billion times during my playthrough, is that for some godforsaken reason, the game developers made the jumping delayed. And it doesn't seem to always be delayed, but it seems like whenever you get just to the tippity tip of a cliff and you're ready to jump and make that epic double jump to whatever the next thing is, you press the button and god damn it, you take a plunge face first into lava or shit or water or whatever the god hell is down there. And it really just frustrated the hell out of me because I'm a guy, as you know, over the past year and a half, I've played almost every major release, and every one of these games has a jumping sequence. I mean, Drake, you know, in Uncharted 2, I played Tomb Raider, I played Prince of Persia, I played Afro Samurai. I mean, you name it, I played it. Any of these third-person running around adventure games. And this game, I just couldn't master the jumping. It just seemed like no matter what I did, the jump was unresponsive when you get to the edge of cliffs. So, Vigil Games, good job. This was your first outing on a game like this. I really thought you did a good job combining elements from other games, even though some people might say it's a blatant ripoff. I think at least you put enough of a good plot and a little spin there, combining the right elements to make it a kind of a unique package. I really did enjoy the game, and here's hoping that at least enough people bought it so that we'll actually get to see the sequel, unlike 2 Human, and we'll actually get the continuation of the plot. So, anyway, the question is, what's my score? And my score for Darksiders, I'm going to give it a 7.5, and that's pretty much because, again, this is a game where I felt there was a lot to it. It was interesting, but it really didn't have too much originality outside of maybe the plot a little bit. And let's be honest, the main character, the Horseman of War, he looks like the Lich King. I mean, come on, he's a shoo-in. So even that, of all the things that they took, even the main character design of the main character was stolen. So maybe if you'd been a little bit more original, I could have given you a higher score. And also, let's be honest, I played through the game, and once I played through it, once again, this is one of those games, I really had no reason to go back and play through it again. There's really very low replayability, and not saying that a game like this needs online play or anything like that, which a lot of people seem to be making comments of. When I say there's no replayability, it doesn't necessarily mean this game needs online play. It just means the game needs a hook to make me want to play it again. And to elaborate on that a little bit so people understand what I mean, when I played Mass Effect 1, okay, I beat the game four times, and once I beat it the fourth time, I even played it through another half time before I finally stopped playing. I mean, I wanted to max out my levels. I wanted to find all the good weapons. I wanted to try out all the different abilities in the game because they actually dramatically changed the gameplay of the game. And I also had all these different elements, like different conversations, different, you know, if you wanted to have the persuasive attitude or the very negative attitude, that, you know, the very confrontational attitude that makes people kind of cringe when you talk to them and you kind of get your way in conversation. There were all these different things and different plot twists, whether you have a character to live or die and you get to choose. Those are the things that make you want to play a game again because it dramatically changes your gameplay experience. A game like Darksiders, a game like Bayonetta, you don't get that in a second playthrough, and that's why I really can't give these games higher ratings. You really have to hook my interest and either capture me so much in that first playthrough that I really think it's such a unique experience that you get the high score, or else you have to be able to hook me enough that I want to go back for some other reason and play the game again. And right now with these games, I'm not feeling it. So the other question everyone asked me was, which game is better? Is it Bayonetta or is it Darksiders? Well, the real answer to that question is, what do you like better? I can't just say score-wise that one's better than the other because they're very close, in my mind anyway. And so I would say if you like beat-em-ups, if you like games with a lot of variety of weapons and things like that, and you like the crazy kind of action, big boss battles, you know, that's action-based, go with Bayonetta. But if you like a more puzzle-based game, an exploration-based game, where you like to kind of find secret items, you know, unlock different weapons and abilities that may or may not have crazy combat, but still add to the value of the game, I would say go with a game like Darksiders. So, I hope that kind of clears it up. First 2 releases off the table. This is DSP. This has been The Hateful Truth. Oh yeah. We have one more thing to take care of. This fucking game is a piece of shit. It's horrible. It's short. It's less than 6 hours long. It's a disgrace of a game. The online play is laggy and god-awful. This game gets a fucking 2. Don't buy it. It's not a game. It's a fucking dirty wad of toilet paper. Fuck that shit. I'm DSP. This has been The Hateful Truth. I'll see you next time, and let's go play Mass Effect 2, because I'm fucking pumped. you have to say, old man?